Everybody, I'm Leah and today's video, well, it has to do with doors. We had a viewer write in, he's having a problem. Here it is.
Declan wrote, I was wondering, can you do a video on how to correct badly hung internal doors, as I've got some solid Victorian 4-panel doors that don't line up exactly, therefore won't lock or close properly. Now here's a door with a similar problem. It's starting to sag, and because it's sagging, it's binding here right at the top of the door. And what you really want is a consistent gap from the top of the door all the way down. Now to correct that sag and to straighten that door up, we got to make a hinge adjustment using a special tool. So this is the tool we're going to use right here. It's called the knuckle bender. Now if you notice, the jaws of this wrench have been kind of like cut out to accommodate the barrel of a hinge, okay? Now if you slide down here on the tool, you'll notice this little rod here. Actually, well, that's a tool as well. It's two tools in one. This helps you remove the hinge pin. So you take it, you insert it underneath the barrel, take a hammer, and just tap it. Okay, we're at the top of the door here. This is our top hinge, and this is the only hinge we need to adjust. Now here's the thing. I'm going to try to make the adjustment while the door is up, but if I can't correct the sag, I'm going to have to take the door down to make the adjustment. Now this is something to keep in mind. There are two parts to a hinge. There's the jamb side and there is the door side. And they both come together there in the barrel, and there's a pin that holds the two pieces together. Now with this particular hinge, the top knuckle, the center knuckle, and the bottom knuckle are attached to the door. And the remaining two knuckles, the second and the fourth, are attached to the door jamb. Now, we're only concerned about the center knuckles, the remaining two and the remaining four, because that's where we're going to make our adjustments. The second and the fourth, but your hinge may be different. Now, what you want to do is you want to take your wrench and see that pointy part right there? You want the pointy part of that wrench pointing toward the jamb. The pointy part toward the jamb, don't forget. Now take the wrench and we're going to place it right here on the second knuckle. Now once it's tight, push it toward the jamb. Now you're going to have some resistance, but don't worry about that. You just want to push. Now take the wrench down and move it to the fourth knuckle and repeat the process. Now if you notice, as I push on that fourth knuckle there, the door sag is being corrected. The hinge adjustment worked and the door moves freely. So we used our knuckle bender to make the adjustments, and now our door, well, it rests just like it should. But sometimes, well, you got to take the door off. And when you take the door off, you don't make the adjustment to the jamb side of the hinges, but to the door side of the hinges. I'm going to show you it's a little different, so let me show you that now. Here we are on a demo door that I built, and we're in my shop. This is the hinge side that's attached to the door. And the adjustment is the same, but there's just one thing that's different, and it's which way the wrench is pointing. See that little point there? You want to point it toward the door. So let's put this on. We're going to put it on that first knuckle. We're going to tighten it up. Okay, so it's tight. Now, what's different is which way we pull our wrench. You know, before when we were adjusting the hinge on the jamb, we pushed toward the jamb. We don't do that. Here, we pull toward the door. And that's what I'm going to do now. So just pull that a little bit, okay? Maybe a little bit more. All right. Now I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to adjust this one. And I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to pull toward the door. There we go. Now what's important here is I'm going to remove this. You have to make certain that both knuckles line up. And the way you do that is you take the pin and you put that pin in there just to make certain that both knuckles are lined up. So we're good to go. So that's it. It's a pretty simple adjustment with just this one tool. And it doesn't really matter if the door is down or the door is up. You can make that hinge adjustment with this one tool. Now, I couldn't find it in a store. I had to buy it online. So what I'll do is I'll place a link in the description below the video so you can check it out for yourself, and maybe our friend in Ireland can find it as well. This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.